Usually there's a reason ratings are that low. Hello everybody, I'm Catherine. Welcome back. Today I have for you a book review of a book that I was very disappointed in. Like, atrociously disappointed in. And that was very sad for me because I have so much respect for the author. That book is A Midsummer Night's Scream by R.L. Stine. So I remember as a kid reading, all the Goosebumps books. And by reading, I mean attempting to read, because I would get so terrified about 5 pages in that most of the times I never finished it. I think I only actually ever finished like 2 or 3 R.L. Stine books. For sure, I finished Welcome to Dead House. I finished the first Deep Trouble book. And that actually might be it. I went into this book thinking, okay, you know what? It's gonna be a little juvenile, but I expected there to still be those same horror elements that I remember so fondly of R.L. Stine books. Was I disappointed? Wow. Like, mind-blowingly disappointed with this book. So this book had all the potential in the world. It had an awesome premise of like this hell house on a movie lot, and the original horror movie that was filmed there, all the actors actually died on camera because they just kept rolling the film, and they're doing a remake, and things are happening like they did the first time around. Like, the premise there was superb. Personally, what I find does not work for this book is the trying to mesh the Shakespeare shit down your throat with it. I mean, the bad guy's name is Puckerman. Call me Puck. Yeah. There's also potions that get sprinkled on people's heads and make them do things they normally wouldn't do. No. Like, cut the bullshit, cut that shit out, and this book could have been about 20 times better, which maybe would have put it up to a 2-star rating for me. But still, better than the 1 star I gave it on Goodreads. Aside from the possibility that this book had of being pretty awesome, that was the only thing I liked. I did not like anything else about this book, which is sad. Normally, I can find something in a book that has a redeeming, ringing quality to it. No, not with this. Let us first start off with Claire, our main character. Oh my God. Claire, as a narrator, was just one messed up situation after another. Her voice was incredibly irritating. Like, I know R.L. Stine can write teenage girls really well because he's done it in past books, and it worked. Granted, of course, I haven't read any of these past books in recent years, but I'm going from what I remember. Even that aside, okay, you can chalk a lot of her personality quirks up to the fact that she's, 17, almost 17 when this book is initially starting. But then there's the fact that she is just... I don't even know. Like, she's too stupid for stupid at times. The girl does not know when to let go of something that is obviously not working, and she was so whiny. I did this book on audiobook. The narrator for the book was awesome. She did really well. The fact that she did really well, and I like that, and the fact that the character of Claire was so horrible, goes to show that it wasn't the narrator's fault. So Claire has her best friend Delia, and Delia likes this boy named Sean, but Sean likes Claire. But Claire likes Sean's friend Jake, but Jake likes Delia. But Jake is also a huge horn dog because, let's face it, he's 17 years old. Who wouldn't be when your parents are multimillionaires in the movie industry and you have everything going for you? Let's just, yeah. That's totally aside. Instead of just giving up on the fact that she has been shown time and time again that Jake does not like her, she still tries, which is a bit of an admirable quality, but she tries in all the wrong ways. She tries being desperate. She tries the freaking magic potions. Not once, not twice, no, 3 times. She didn't learn from her first mistake with grabbing an unmarked bottle with unknown magical qualities. Oh my god. So the entire book, I was just sitting there thinking like, seriously? Seriously. There are no other guys out there? Personally, I think that Delia was the much smarter of the two. Yeah. She at least, you know, kind of let things go. Kind of. Personally, I found that Claire was really childish, and I am going to quote from the Goodreads summary, which is told through Claire's voice. Kind of. At first, Claire laughs at Jake's talk of ghosts and curses. He's been too busy crushing on her best friend, Delia, or making out with that slut, Anna Lee, to notice that she's practically been throwing herself at him. I'm gonna stop and just leave it right there. Claire's definitely the character who puts down other, especially female characters, in order to make herself feel better, which is actually really funny because I was just learning about this in my psychology class today before coming and filming this. She definitely projects her emotions in that way. It's not pretty. It was my sheer willpower and the fact that the audiobook was only like 5 hours long that I didn't stop reading this book. That is the only reason I actually finished this book and didn't DNF it. I figured it's so short and I've already wasted so much time. It's almost like kicking myself if I don't finish it. And I do have major respect for R.L. Stine, so I figured it might get better. It was like 67% according to my notes on Goodreads, where I actually commented that I stopped, placed a bookmark, and said, oh, finally, something's happening. The entire first half of the book, you're basically dealing with Claire and her insecurities and the fact that she can't get jiggy with the boy next door. Honestly, it took someone's hand being chopped off for me to actually start wanting to listen and find out what happens. And yeah, that was maybe at 60%. Sad. I felt as though this book kind of read like a Scooby-Doo episode. I mean, you know who the bad guy is, you just don't really know why he's doing what he's doing. And he's wearing a mask, although this mask wasn't exactly like a costume that you could rip off the mask. But there was a persona being personified by the bad guy, and you had to figure out who he really was underneath. So yeah, Scooby-Doo is definitely a good comparison for this book. It was ridiculous and campy, and it definitely had the whiny Daphne type character who wasn't really good for anything because, yeah. Although the Sarah Michelle Gellar Daphne was kick-ass, so we'll see. Yeah, Daphne's coming up in the world. A lot of the book really didn't need to be in it. For example, the magic potions and all references to A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yeah, there would have been, personally, I think, other ways to portray that better that would have made the story as a whole better. I feel like maybe R.L. Stine was given the title and been like, write something about this, and then had to relate it to the title, which of course relates to Shakespeare, which is where all the problems come from. I would recommend this book to hardcore fans of R.L. Stine who just like him because of the nostalgia. I feel like those types of people would get a lot out of it. Also, much younger readers, because aside from making out, nothing really adult-ish happens. And even though the main characters are 16 and 17, yeah, definitely could be read by much younger audience. It doesn't have the type of horror that would really personally cause nightmares. I mean, yeah. It was even low on the horror scale. I definitely think this is a 1-star rating book, in my opinion. So much could have been improved upon. R.L. Stine, you kind of let me down. So let me know down below if you've read this monstrosity of a horrible book. Very sad, horrible little book. And what you thought of it. I personally found it fascinating from other perspectives, like the psychological and the feminist perspective. But from just a strictly reader's point of view, not so much. And the fascination was not because of good things. So, yeah. So until next time, everybody, happy reading, and I'll see you then.